Recently, there's been a lot of buzz surrounding a topic called midlife pressure, which refers to the risks and challenges that come with middle age. The years 2024 and 2025 are expected to be tough economically worldwide. If you scroll through social media, it's not hard to come across stories about people losing their jobs at 35 because of company layoffs, or at 38 after their company declares bankruptcy overnight, leaving them unsure of what to do next. Today, I want to share a real-life story that I believe will make many of you reflect deeply on an issue that's becoming more and more common in society today. This isn't a fictional tale or a fairy tale. These are true stories that happen in real life, often without us even noticing. It's the story of middle-aged workers who have spent their entire lives working, contributing to their families and society. Yet now, instead of being recognized, they face a brutal reality, being replaced and discarded simply because of their age. I'm sure many of us feel sympathy when we hear about middle-aged workers being laid off. But do we truly understand the pain, the hardship they have to endure? These people who spend their whole lives building careers suddenly find themselves surplus in the eyes of society. Can we understand that for them, losing their job is not just a financial shock, but also a loss of a part of their life, their pride, and their sense of purpose? Imagine this. You've been working at the same company for 20 years, pouring countless hours and energy into your job, and one day you're informed that the company is downsizing, and you're one of those being let go, simply because you've reached a certain age. How would that feel? All those late nights, all the effort put into your work suddenly mean nothing. Not only does this disappoint them, but it also makes them feel abandoned, treated unfairly. Welcome to Truths in the Lies, where we uncover the truths society doesn't want you to know. Many of you listening to this podcast may think that middle age is a distant stage, right? But in reality, the age range from 30 to 45 is fast approaching. And if you don't recognize that now, you'll find yourself unprepared for the most challenging stage of your life. When it comes, it will be incredibly tough, and you may even face it empty-handed. Don't think that struggling in your youth, fresh out of school, was the hardest part. Because back then, you had youth on your side, time, family, friends, and the energy to learn, to try, and to fail. But once you reach over 30, the burden of life rests solely on your shoulders, and you no longer have the luxury of making mistakes. The responsibility to care for your family and loved ones becomes heavier. And the most crucial point is, at this stage, you cannot afford to fail because your loved ones are counting on you to succeed. So, stay alert, stay cautious, and keep listening to this podcast. The age range from 30 to 45 is a pivotal period in life. Almost every significant life event happens during these years. By now, we've built families, gotten married, had children, established careers, or earned a certain position in society. This stage doesn't allow us to live in a haze of uncertainty anymore. When we were young, confusion and uncertainty were due to the vastness of the world and our lack of experience. There were too many choices, and we didn't know which path to take. But if we remain unsure, unclear, or lost during middle age, it's easy to slip into despair. Having already gone through many struggles, even witnessing the pain of loss, we should have shaped our character, our personality, and our habits by now. The 30 to 45 age range is like a midway point. So many things fall into the category of difficult to let go, but harder to keep. At this stage, we're the pillars of our families. We must shoulder the weight of responsibility. If we face significant setbacks like unexpected layoffs or bankruptcy at this age, it could push us into the deeper struggles of life. Take, for instance, a 8-year-old man who worked for 20 years at a manufacturing plant in Los Angeles. His job wasn't easy, but he always gave his best. The products he made not only provided for his family, but were also exported worldwide. For nearly 2 decades, he gave his all to the company, and it became his pride as well as his family's. His hands were skilled, and his work was irreplaceable at the factory. But one day, everything changed. The company informed him that they were downsizing, and he was among those laid off. The reason? He was simply too old, his productivity not as fast as before. But the real reason was that his salary, based on his seniority, was too high. All he got was a termination letter and a cold "thank you for your contributions." Those 20 years of hard work vanished in an instant. He couldn't believe what was happening. All the years of toil suddenly turned to nothing. Sitting in a small cafe, holding his termination letter, his eyes red from crying, he shared with me that he didn't know what to do next. The company chose young graduates, inexperienced but cheap. The words stung deep, and I'm sure many of you can feel the pain of a middle-aged worker faced with the fact that they can be replaced just because of their age. This isn't an isolated incident. It's happening to thousands of others in society. It's not because they lack effort or skill, but simply because they're not young enough to keep up with the rapid technological changes. They can't match the pace of the current world. This isn't just a financial shock, it's a tremendous loss in their life. And this raises an important question. Why are we allowing middle-aged workers to suffer this way? Why are they being discarded simply because of their age? I believe it's time we find the answers to these questions. Today, we're diving deep into a pressing issue that affects many, the challenges faced by middle-aged workers who have dedicated their entire lives to their jobs, but now find themselves pushed to the margins. These individuals were once the backbone of companies, helping them thrive, yet now they are seen as burdens by younger, profit-driven leaders who prioritize speed and innovation over the valuable experience that comes with age. As new technologies and work methods gain prominence, these seasoned workers find it increasingly difficult to keep up, unable to match the speed and efficiency of younger generations. The result? They're left behind in a society that values instant results. This isn't just happening in industries, but across various sectors. However, the value of middle-aged workers shouldn't be underestimated. They carry with them years of experience and unique skills that are hard to replace. Yet, today's labor market overlooks that. Instead, youth, speed, and rapid change are prioritized. While younger workers may adapt faster and work more quickly, can they truly replace the depth of knowledge and the years of commitment that middle-aged workers offer? Let's explore this issue further in today's episode. But the question remains, can younger workers immediately perform the task that experienced middle-aged workers leave behind? These workers have been at their jobs for years, knowing the ins and outs of their roles better than anyone. The answer isn't so clear. You might wonder, why do we live in a society where age has become a deciding factor for removing people from the workforce? I believe this stems largely from the pragmatic approach of businesses trying to cut costs. A younger person earning less may be just as efficient or even faster in some cases, but can they match the dedication, experience, and challenges that middle-aged workers have overcome? Again, the answer is uncertain. However, businesses are choosing speed, cost, and youth over experience leading to a vicious cycle where, despite their dedication, these workers are being pushed out. So, is there a way to reverse this trend? Let's continue to explore in the next part of today's discussion. The stories I've shared today reflect the painful reality many middle-aged workers face in our society. These individuals, who have contributed years of hard work and were once the pillars of their companies and families, are now subjected to the brutal process of replacement. They're pushed out simply because they've reached a certain age, a cruel irony. The pain they endure isn't just losing their job, it's losing part of their life, their confidence, and the sense of purpose they've built over decades. Think about it. When a company only looks at one factor cost, when work efficiency is measured by speed and low wages, do they still see the value of qualities like dedication, experience, and loyalty? We must realize that middle-aged workers aren't useless. They possess invaluable skills that many younger workers cannot easily replace. So, why doesn't society recognize their worth? This question has been on my mind a lot. If we don't change our perspective, if we don't create opportunities for middle-aged workers to thrive, they'll continue to be pushed aside, and the value they bring will be forgotten. Technology can change everything, but it cannot replace the experience and commitment that middle-aged workers bring to the table. I believe it's time we rethink things. It's time to create a society where age is not a deciding factor, but where the values each person contributes are what truly matter. It's time to act to support middle-aged workers so they don't feel abandoned, to show them that they still have value and can continue contributing to society. As you can see, the struggles of middle-aged workers aren't just individual stories. They reflect a wider societal issue that affects the values we hold. We cannot continue to allow those who have given their lives to building our society to be pushed aside or forgotten. Middle-aged workers who have contributed immensely to the economy and society deserve a second chance to continue making a meaningful impact. So, what can we do to change this situation? I believe the first step is changing society's perception of middle-aged workers. We need to recognize that age should not be the deciding factor in evaluating a person's worth. Experience, commitment, and loyalty, these are qualities that technology or younger generation cannot instantly replace. Middle-aged workers are not just laborers, they are teachers, mentors who can pass on invaluable life and work lessons to younger generations. If society appreciates and creates opportunities for them, they can continue to contribute and make a difference in the world. Additionally, businesses need to rethink their human resources strategies. Replacing middle-aged workers with younger ones simply because they cost less isn't a sustainable solution. While technology may improve efficiency, it cannot replace the deep value that seasoned workers bring. Companies can offer training programs for middle-aged workers, helping them learn and adapt to new technologies, rather than just seeking younger faces with lower wages. This policy will help retain experienced staff while reducing age discrimination in the workplace. Moreover, the government must implement policies that encourage businesses to retain middle-aged workers. This could include training programs, subsidies, or incentives for businesses that hire or retain older workers. We also need to change the societal view of age and work, ensuring that age doesn't become a barrier to someone's existence in the workforce. I believe that if we do this, stories about middle-aged workers will no longer be sad tales. They won't have to face being replaced or left behind just because of their age. They will have the opportunity to continue living and contributing because they deserve it. Remember, life is not always easy, and sometimes we face challenges that seem insurmountable. But if we don't give up, if we believe in ourselves and find the strength to rise up, we will overcome any obstacle. And that's the message I want to send to middle-aged workers facing adversity. You are not alone. Many of us understand, and we are ready to stand by you. You still have value, and you can continue to contribute to society. Finally, I hope that through today's story, we will gain a better understanding of the challenges faced by middle-aged workers and work together to find solutions to prevent them from being forgotten. We must honor not just youth, but also those who have dedicated their entire lives to laying the foundation for the development of our society. But while we wait for society to change, we must also prepare for the future ourselves, because it's likely that we will all face these challenges. So, if we face the risk of reaching middle age, what can we do to save ourselves? Here's what you should focus on between the ages of 30 and 45. First, concentrate on making money. As you approach middle age, you need to be more practical. Let go of unnecessary hobbies, save money, and learn about finance. Understand the flow of money and how it grows. Money is smart. You can't outsmart it. It can provide you with status, relationships, and much more. Most people agree that if there's a risk of facing middle age, it's because we haven't earned enough money. Society is changing rapidly, so it's time to set aside long-term plans and focus on the present. Make the most of today, and always remember that your efforts will pay off. Second, silence is golden. In life, there are three kinds of business: your own, other people's, and the universe's. You can't interfere with the universe's business, and you don't have the authority to meddle in others' affairs. So, focus on your own. If something doesn't affect you directly, don't get involved. Let go of things that don't matter. Don't waste your time and energy on things that aren't important. People will think what they think. Don't let it bother you. Third, learn to embrace solitude. Relationships will change as your perspective evolves. Many things, many people will drift away if they cannot keep up with your mindset. That's the law of nature. In the end, the only person who will be with you until the end of your life is yourself. If you can't accept solitude in middle age, you might fall victim to others' negative perceptions. But a true adult knows their goals and will work tirelessly to achieve them. Fourth, always learn to enhance your awareness. Even if there were things in the past that didn't seem right or didn't align with who we are today, we still need to keep learning. Society is changing faster than ever, and business models and job structures are evolving rapidly. Many old professions are disappearing, but countless new ones are emerging. Small businesses are gradually being replaced by online stores, and office workers are increasingly required to be tech-savvy. Take a step back and think it through. There's always a new opportunity waiting once an old phase fades. So don't be pessimistic. Keep learning, keep observing, and look for opportunities. The best approach is to reconnect with people who have already achieved success. That's the quickest way to elevate your own capabilities. Fifth, understand the laws of life. If you're still stuck asking why things are the way they are, why a friendship that seemed perfect can turn into betrayal, or why a beautiful love can fall apart, then it means we haven't fully grasped the fundamental laws of life. Everything, everyone is in a constant state of change as long as it's alive. Sixth, have a clear mindset and place great trust in yourself. Our actions are often proportional to our mindset. The stronger the mindset, the more decisive the actions. We've all heard stories of individuals who overcame adversity and built something from nothing. These are real-life examples still thriving today. But remember, they weren't always seen as extraordinary. Like us, they were once ordinary people. What set them apart was their strong mindset. Even when the world turned its back, they kept believing in themselves. Remember, everything in life comes with a price. But at this stage, we don't have much time or energy left to pay for our past mistakes. Now, every action, every word we speak could become either an investment for the future or a debt we must repay. Seventh, be ready to face challenges. Life will bring many ups and downs, even moments of despair. But this is the inevitable law of life. The hardest part of any journey is going from 0 to 1. Once you've made that leap, everything else becomes much easier. So, what matters now is whether we take action today, whether we're willing to face the challenge ahead. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope these stories will not only serve as a warning, but also as a call to action to create a fairer labor market, one that doesn't discriminate based on age, but instead values what each person brings to society. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a lot more content coming your way that could benefit you.